I stumbled upon this tweet on X. So I believe this guy that tweeted this is actually a Premier League fan. Yes, I don't know his club, but I believe by tweeting this, I think he's a Premier League fan. He said, La Liga is so unserious. This guy was a Premier League flop who almost got relegated, and now he's scoring goals for fun every other week. Now he's referring to Raphinha. We all know that Raphinha actually left Leeds United about 4 years ago, and Barcelona eventually signed him. Let me say something that concerns this. Raphinha, for everything you got to believe or not, Raphinha has never been a flop. Raphinha was never a flop. He was never a flop at Leeds United. He was never. Quote me anywhere. He was never a flop. One thing you guys don't understand, or fans don't understand, is when a player is among a group of team, or is among a squad that actually relegated a team, or they went on relegation, does not really mean that it's a particular player that actually caused their relegation. No. Do you know that a player can be exceptional, can be very, very good, and yet the entire team is doing poorly? Yes. A player can be that good, can be so good that he finds himself in a team that is not doing well, and he finds himself struggling. A tree cannot form a forest. That's what I'm trying to say here. Because Raphinha belonging to a particular group of players in a club at a certain time does not necessarily mean that he was a flop in that team. Yes, the team did not do well, does not mean he flopped in that team. Yes, the team was relegated, but that does not mean that Raphinha was the cause of the relegation or it was a flop. Never. Now, another person also tweeted this. He said something concerning Rodri. He said, Premier League is so unserious. This guy left La Liga, left Atletico Madrid, that's Rodri, and won the Ballon d'Or. Does that mean that La Liga is that tough compared to Premier League? Or does it mean that La Liga is so poor to the point that you cannot write anything about La Liga? There is nothing good you can write about La Liga. Yes, I believe that the present administration of or administrative of La Liga, or the people organizing the matches, the FA of Spain, they're not doing well. Yes, sometimes their policies come to undermine the league progress. Yes, I will say that because over the time, I've seen that Tebas has been a stumbling block to the growth of La Liga with all his policies, rejection of players, and all what have you. I think it's one of those things that I keep having. But that does not really mean that La Liga is not trying or they're not doing their best. When you look at it in almost how many years now, you see that La Liga have been dominating, but the teams from the La Liga have been dominating in Europe. Regardless of how poor the system or the league have been, I think, with all due respect, Premier League is the best league in the world. Most exciting, most glamorous, most exciting, and what have you. And the spotlight is the Premier League. But that does not rule away what other leagues are doing. So saying that La Liga is so unserious is kind of, insulting. Saying that La Liga is that Raphinha, that was almost a flop in one of the Premier League team, went to La Liga and started scoring. That is when you tell you that this guy was actually good. Just that the team he belonged to was actually the problem. They couldn't showcase his potential. Now he has left that team and he's playing a good football, playing among the best teams or the best players you can think of. That is where his best start coming up. Now let me also take you backward. Sometime in Ligue 1, the French league. When you look at Monaco, there was a time Monaco won their league. In fact, they went unbeaten that season. When Kylian Mbappe was there, you have Bernardo Silva there, you have Bakayoko. There are so many. Even the likes of Fabinho, the former Liverpool player, that group of players that formed that good squad in Monaco, they did exceptionally well until they sold almost all those players. Man City bought Bernardo Silva, Chelsea bought Bakayoko, PSG bought Kylian Mbappe, and all those players, they went off until we discovered that Bakayoko, who went to Chelsea, struggled and he flopped at Chelsea. He was eventually sold. Does that mean that Bakayoko is a flop? Was a flop at Monaco? No. Sometimes these players, you can meet some players that don't even watch it. They don't play anything. This can only show when they are playing. You can see a player who is not that good, but you find him in the midst of players that are good. You see him showcasing, doing even a little errors he commit or things. It won't show, because he's playing among good players. But you see a team, or you see a player who is good, regardless of the players he's playing with, you will know that this guy is good. Just that the players he's playing with, they are not complementing his effort, or they're not making him, do other things because of their low quality. Let's look at Manchester United, for example. We know that their captain now, Bruno Fernandes, is exceptional, is good. Is it because he's not playing among players that are of his quality? Can you say that will bring Bruno Fernandes down? You know that this guy is good. regardless of whoever is in his team or in his team or is playing with, that does not take away the quality in him. So that's why I'm saying that Raphinha is a good player, just that he found himself in a team that was not that good. That was why we couldn't see his best. Now you are claiming that this guy almost relegated this United. You can't say that because Raphinha has been an exceptional player. You can clearly see it right now. A player that was almost, pushed out of the team 2 seasons ago is now being contending as the Ballon d'Or winner. I think it's a good one for Raphinha, if you ask me.